Hi there guys, it's Adam Martin here, and welcome back to another video, and we've got a brand new unboxing to take a look at, an unboxing of a rather special Doctor Who project that aired for the 60th anniversary last year and has finally been released onto home media. I'm of course talking about the Daleks in colour. So I'm sure most of you are aware, but just for maybe any one or two that aren't, the Daleks in Colour aired on the 60th anniversary date itself, the 23rd of November 2023, over on BBC4. The idea was it was a new version of the very first Dalek story, the second Doctor Who story ever, that originally went out back in 1963-64. The task was to cut it down from 7 25-minute long episodes to just 75 minutes, trimming a ton of material. It seemed like a big task, it seemed like an impossible task to many a Who fan, but rest assured it went out, they did it, and I mean, I think they were pretty damn successful. But I'll talk more about my thoughts on this in just a little bit. We're going to, of course, talk about this release. Now, this is the Blu-ray Steelbook edition of the Daleks in Colour. Just for context, there is a regular DVD version and a regular Blu-ray version, both of which have different artwork to the Steelbook, although I always like to get the Steelbook, and I'll explain why as we go. So let's just take a look at the design first. You, of course, have a Dalek here on the front cover with lots of pinky, purpley, orangey swirls and madness in the background. Now, on a Steelbook, I think this looks great because you've got to remember, taking images of, black and white telly and trying to add colour into them, even for a DVD release, can be quite tricky. But I really love the effect that the Dalek has on here. It's sort of, to me, it almost looks like that black and white with just colour tinges added to it, but it looks quite nice, and obviously they are the central focus of the story, so it makes sense to have them front and centre. You can see the modern Doctor Who logo there towards the bottom, and I love that the Daleks in Colour title is the same font that was used in the DVD range, for years and years and years, so there's a nice bit of brand symmetry there. It's 2 discs, it's rated PG, and if we flip it on over to the spine, you can see what it looks like here. Again, this is the Steelbook format, so you can see the modern Doctor Who logo there with the actual title, The Daleks in Colour, having a nice bit of symmetry on yourself if you put this next to your DVDs. Flipping it on over to the back, you can see an image of the TARDIS crew of the time, the very first TARDIS crew, so you've got William Hartnell as the first Doctor, then you've got Jacqueline Hill as Barbara, you've got William Russell as Ian, and you have Carol Ann Ford as Susan with the TARDIS there. It says, on an alien world, the Doctor encounters the Daleks for the very first time in this newly colorized edit of a classic adventure. And then below the picture, it says includes bonus featurette and the Daleks' original black and white episodes. Now, I noticed physical media releases, particularly with Doctor Who, like the modern stuff, have started to do this a lot more, where they don't provide like a list of the special features on the back. They just say includes bonus features, which, it's a very minor nitpick. It's absolutely fine, but it's just something I've taken note of recently. I'll detail more about the contents of the discs in a second, but I just want to show you what this looks like without the little slip card it comes in. So there is the Dalek artwork in its full glory there. A really stunning image, really nicely created. And I love that, again, the colour blends here, like the purples, oranges and pinks. I just think it creates a very striking image that feels very 1960s at the same time. On the back, it's that shot of the TARDIS crew, but again, without any sort of text. And again, even though it looks different, like they're all shrouded in like these funky colours as well, it strangely works in my eyes. I just think this looks gorgeous as a Steelbook release. So opening it up inside then, there are 2 discs to this release here. So disc 1, front and centre there. Now the image you see there, as you probably saw before, that is the image of the standard DVD and Blu-ray releases. But anyway, on disc 1 is the Daleks in Colour, the new 75-minute colorized edit, and the featurette, which is the making of the Daleks in Colour. Now I've got to say, I've just watched this and it's lovely. I think you really get a sense of the appreciation, the love and the care and the craft that went into making this edit, because colorization is a very time-consuming process. It's not a quick fix. This takes many months of work by a lot of talented and dedicated people. And I think you get that appreciation there. Same with the music. Of course, Mark Ayres has spruced up the music a little bit, which I thought sounded great when it was transmitted. Again, I'll talk more about my thoughts a little bit later. But it's only 10 minutes long, but it's a very insightful featurette into why this was made, how it was made, and, the love that was behind it. You even get interviews with Russell in here, RTD, so you get a sense of just how much he was involved in this as well, or wanted to do this. The second disc is a regular DVD, so even if you get the Blu-ray, disc 2 will always be a DVD. This contains the original version of the Daleks, so the 7-episode story in its original black and white form, as well as audio commentaries and all the special features from before. So if you already have the Daleks DVD from, when did it come out, like 2006, 2007, very long time ago now, that is pretty much a carbon copy reprint of the same disc. It's got new disc art, but from what I've seen online, like the menus are the same, the features are the same within, so it is pretty much a carbon copy on that one. If you're getting the Blu-ray version, I think it seems you're getting, or the Steelbook one anyway, you're getting the DVD anyway, but of course the main attraction for many will be the Blu-ray with the Daleks in colour on it. So just to touch on the other versions of this, I mean, this Steelbook version, this retails for about £30 from most places, which seems to be the going rate for Doctor Who Steelbooks nowadays. You could throw the debate of if that's worth the price all you want, but that's how it is. The standard DVD retails in some places for $14.99, so or £15, which I must admit these days, in 2024, for a DVD, that sounds like quite a huge amount, but again, maybe this is due to make back the cost of production. I'm not really sure. The standard Blu-ray retails higher. That retails for £20, and I think at that point, if the regular Blu-ray is retailing for £20, I mean, the extra tenner, for the Steelbook, the sturdier casing, the artwork, and all that sort of stuff, that's more up to you. I'm more than happy to get this because I don't go for the standard DVD because I've already got the Daleks on my shelf, the original, and I view the Daleks in colour as a fascinating, wonderful alternative to that original. So I was never going to replace my original DVD copy, and for me, I thought, well, I may as well get the Steelbook to add to my other Steelbooks, of the missing episode animations and so on. But of course, the choice will have to be up to you which version suits you best. So just to recap, the standard DVD retails for around £15, the standard Blu-ray for around £20, and the Blu-ray Steelbook for around £30. Although that one is limited edition, so I don't know how many of these they produce, but if you want it, I'd get that as soon as possible. And the Daleks in colour itself, I love this. I love the trimmed down edit. I love how this looked. Again, the colour, having never obviously seen this in colour, this was a whole breath of fresh air because I've watched the original Daleks several times, but this fast-paced, tighter edit, most of it worked, I think. I think inherently when you're trying to cut down a 7-episode story to the length of a 3-parter in Classic Who, there's going to be some moments that feel a little rushed per se, but I think that necessarily couldn't be helped with the amount of how much you're trimming down. Most of the plot I think still carries over, makes sense. Obviously, I'm a bit biased because I've seen this story so many times, I know what's going to happen. I'd be very fascinated to watch this with a first-time viewer to see if it all, makes sense. And I mean, if you were a first-time viewer of the Daleks in this form, please let me know in the comments, or if you know someone whose first experience with the Daleks was this colour version, because I'd love to hear their thoughts on it. But I love the care and craft and this new way to enjoy this classic story. The colours were great. Even the bits like, new dialogue that was recorded, new sound effects, whatever. I love that because, again, it's just, this is an alternative version of a classic story. The original Daleks isn't going away. They haven't erased it. Don't panic. I loved all these little changes. I loved, again, the new dialogue that was provided by both Nicholas Briggs, the current voice of the Daleks, and David Graham, one of the original voices who's nearly 100 years old, which is insane, but he absolutely smashes it. I just thought this was a perfect love letter for the 60th anniversary. Yes, we had the 60th anniversary specials, of course, but I think as a love letter to the legacy of Doctor Who, the whole franchise, the origins of Doctor Who, this was a perfect place to start these colorizations, because hopefully there will be more. We got a little tease at the end of other 60s stories highlighted in color, and I can only hope that in the years to come we get more colorizations, because if they turn out like the Daleks in color did, honestly, I'll be all for it. You've done it again, BBC. You can take my money all over again. But those are my thoughts on the Daleks in colour and its physical media release. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you going to be picking this up? Are you going to do it on DVD? Are you going to do it on Blu-ray? Are you going to do it on Blu-ray Steelbook? And also let me know your thoughts generally on the Daleks in colour in the comments down below. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. It really does help us out. And subscribe as well if you're brand new. We would love to have you aboard here with us. In the meantime, I've been Adam Martin from AMTV Who. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time for another trip in the TARDIS.